Hello everyone. This is a PokeInfo API project. This is what I've been working on the past month. Um, this has been an ongoing project for a couple months, and I'm glad I'm able to show it now. So let's jump. Let's jump into it. So first, to introduce myself, like I mentioned before, my name is Alejandro. I'm attending Valencia College. I'm pursuing my bachelor's in IT and software development. I'm a system engineer. Um, I've been a system engineer for 2 years at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. I'm 26 years old, and my hobbies between them, I would say my favorite ones are soccer, programming. It's one that I truly find cool because I mostly do it as a hobby on my free time. Robotics, it's also that I don't know, it's it's just something that I find interesting, and I like it as well. And then we have gaming. I always been into video games, so it's something that it's been going on for a while. So I also want to show the tools that I did use in this project, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and for my backend, this is for pulling the data and the information. Um, for to have different perspective when I worked on my graphs for the different months. I worked on February, March, and April, and it does some comparison between the data that I extracted in these different months. And well, that's what I did. We use Java and Maven for. For my IDEs, I did use IntelliJ IDEA and VS Code. The API, it's a community API. It's called Pokemon TCG API. It's always being updated. It does have another API that is pulling data from, which is the only way to keep up with all the prices on the market since this is a really popular game. Like I mentioned, first in the world. It's been out there for a while. And well, at the end of the day, there's like around 10,000, well, over 10,000. In this case, I think it's exactly 19,000 cards that need to be outdated every day. So, I mean, it's a lot of work, but the community itself pulls it together, and that's how that's what this project was built around. For my version control, I did use GitHub. GitHub is pretty cool because you can always roll back if something goes wrong, and you don't have any way to get your program or project going again. And for the runtime, I use Node.js. So if we want to talk about my project, right? If I have to tell an idea how it was implemented, what does it do? I can pretty much explain it. So this is my Pokemon uh, backup 3 folder. So right here we have the main GS, which displays all the cards, and it does all the intelligent functionalities using JavaScript. Then I have all my HTML files. So right here comes the interactive part where the user can enjoy the application itself. So if we jump into the program itself, we can see it here. I'm excited to show it to everyone. As of now, we can see this is always been a person that I like to be I would like user friendly, create user friendly programs. So I don't know, this is something that visually doesn't bother me. I didn't want to put too much stuff into it, just these small Pokeballs, and then create this with a Pokemon thematic. You can see, and well, we have the hover over function that also highlights the borders Right here, I make sure it's all center and all cards are separated, equally, same as here. After that, we can see if we press on it, it actually tells you for each Pokemon right now all the stats we like HP, the Pokemon type, also the kind of rules that this card apply to, attacks, weaknesses, and for some of them, depending on the data that is out there, there's gonna be the artist, then the set where this card came from, and also the TCG player prices. So prices on Pokemon cards, they do vary. This is just average pricing because of Pokemon experts. They do rate them based on the since these cards are printed by machines. Based on their quality, they can range from 1 to 10. Uh, Cards that are rated at 10 are really expensive, but numbers below 8, the prices pretty much are the same. So that's all the prices that we are basing our application of. So you can see this one, it's also, you know, the lowest price you can find it is around 150. This one is 218. So let's jump and see my favorite Pokemon, which is this one, Charizard. So I really like him. You see, there are some amazing cards out there. This one right here. This one's pretty cool too. I really like the design. Well, this card, I mean, it was made. I wanted to do something that I will use myself. I just didn't want to create an empty project that wasn't gonna be used anymore. So right here, I can actually every time I need to look a card, I don't have to go to one of those default research, places where you can find them on the internet. I can just go on my app, and it since it's up to date, everything, I can just go here and check things daily if I want to play the game. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. So how about what about this project? PokeInfo is a web-based Pokemon card and price tracking tool, like you guys saw. It uses the Pokemon TCG API to fetch real-time stats and pricing for over 15,000 cards. Um, and this number goes around 19,000 to be specific. It's pretty cool. I just find it this really interesting since it's all community based. So users can explore cards details by generations, card type, or popularity. This is also something that was added to the project. It's nice. I make sure that I did build an interactive UI, so it does actually I don't know. I feel like users will be interested in using it just because the way it looks, the way how easy it is to to find a car, how easy it is to see prices, attacks, everything. It's really user friendly, and I don't think there's a learning curve to use it. Anyone in the world could use it at the moment. Design it to support future expansions. So this is a personal project that I want to work on. It's just the same thing that I'm doing right now, but instead of being just web-based for the computer, I want to do the same thing on React Native, so it can be deployed to the mobile app via Expo, just to do some testing on all those kind of things. Because to be honest, right now, you don't take your computer everywhere. The thing that you have closest to you is your phone. So having this as a mobile app will be really, really nice. Even if it's just not deploying globally, if it's just for myself, it'd be really cool. It will be an improvement, and also, I mean, I will enjoy since it's my own project. I will feel proud about it. Okay, so for demonstration, this thing includes real-time prices, updates, and stars comparisons. So when it comes to the implementation, everything was done in VS Code. Um, building a responsive front end for the Pokemon cards and stats and prices. like this was already mentioned before, the integrated Pokemon TCG app to track. Um, Also mentioned it on the last slide, my personal goal. There's also the backend filters, highlight valuable cards. Everything was done through version control and backups using GitHub, which um, which I'll post on the description, so everyone can see in case they want to see my code. This is gonna be open to the public. So when it comes to the backend, right? Backend, if we can see in April, prices did change a little bit. We can see in April for this the rare holo Charizard, things went up all the way to 147. However, if I see in February, if we check the holo card, for some reason, probably there was a trending deck, because that's how kind of like Pokemon works when it comes to decks. There's some competitive decks that professionals do use for tournaments to earn their money. So if one of your cards, it's really important for those kind of decks and everyone wants them, that's how the prices go up. Interesting. Oh, kind of stay close. Okay. Perfect. So if we go right here, right, and we check and we do our run right now with specifically this Pokemon, which I think I mentioned before is my favorite month of April. This was not too long ago. So we can see it's around 179, and here it was 147. So even though it dropped on price drastically, we can see right now that it's going back up. Same with this one. This one, actually, this one did not show the price for some reason last time I scanned, but this one right here, you can see it went up. So it's about the same amount. Went $30. This one went also $30 up. So it's really cool practice, to use this and then check on the actual cards that you wanna see. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation, right? So for the findings and results, this app was able to successfully display real-time stats and prices over 5,000 Pokemon cards. It also helped you, since you see everything is based on prices on this Pokemon card world. You can identify trends and popular cards through the live API data. Actually, doing some research on the current prices and the previous prices and see how that car is trending on the market and if it's gonna go up and down, if it's good for your deck or not. So recognize limitations in data extraction due to card duplication and API complexity. So okay, let me explain this. Well, it was complicated sometimes to do some information extractions, right? Because the way to extract things in this API, it's based on naming. And then after the name, based on the name of the car, right, there's multiple cars that they got the same name. It's just that they're from a different generation, different rarity, different deck. And this made it kind of complicated sometimes, since it will pull cars by name, but it will do it randomly. So it wouldn't do it the same way it did it before and before. So this had to be done in alphabetic order. So even after the name, then search, right, the second field, which is the rarity. And then after the rarity, you had to search a couple things just by alphabetic order. So every time I would extract data, I could compare prices between each extraction, and without much trouble, because if not, I will have to be going up and down because it won't be in the same order, and it will be really difficult to compare these prices, even do graphs and things like that. Well, this is also a cool learning experience. Because right now, the API, since it's a community API, is being updated every day. However, it doesn't have many instructions. It doesn't have many things that you can actually follow and implement this API for yourself. If not everyone would just do it, and there will be a lot of cool Pokemon things out there. So in order to work with this API, you really have to put some work into researching and speaking with the community. In this case, I did join a Discord channel um, where many people like me wanted to do a cool thing for Pokemon for themselves. So, because in order to do things related to Pokemon posted on the internet, you also have to be licensed to do those kind of things. However, if you manage to create a really good app, they may let you do it if you have an agreement with them. However, in my case, I just did it as a personal goal, but it was really cool to enjoy and speak with the community to overcome all these difficulties, right? Um, so then, when it comes to graphs and statistics, what we can see here, the Charizard Arceus, um, it was really popular um, around. Well, it wasn't as much in February from what I'm seeing here, but after that, with the second extract on March, I could see it went up on price. I mean, not as much, but it did went up. So we can see probably fire decks are right now a good thing. There's not many water decks that can counter them, since this is based on elements, and well, it's just fire. It's strong to plant, then water is strong to fire, blah blah. So probably there's not many water decks around at the moment that people is. So fire decks are going up, which is a good thing for the owners of fire decks, because then if they decide to sell these cards in the future, they'll have a good value, as long as this is a trend and the meta on the game doesn't change. Okay, so far we can see here we also got Charizard base 2, we also got Charizard Wonders, and the legendary connection. So we also can see here, like I mentioned before, these cards are based. That's why it's kind of difficult to. This was also another challenge, because prices, they're not set on stone. So what I mean by that, it's that like I mentioned, every card, no matter if they're the same, they got different rating. So let's say you take two cards, same stack, same everything, same card, literally identical. The thing is that the better the card was made from the machine, the most it costs. Because there's people that want the cards to be perfectly printed, like everything in the middle, every single corner cut good. So like I mentioned, it rates from 1 to 10. Under 8, under the rating of 8, everything is pretty much the same, which are called low prices, and then mid prices are around 8, and then high prices are like literally perfect cards that they, no matter what card they are, they're gonna go for a really high price just because they're just perfect, and people always wants the best out of the best. So right here we can see we have Charizard Secret Wonders, and we can see February low, then February mid, then high. We can see these kind of like the stats. So we will sit here and analyze them all. I guess it will take a while, but it's always good if anyone wants to stop and actually evaluate them. This is pretty cool graphs on how things work between the months, how they go up and down. And there are some people that use these kind of apps like this one, or this API extractors, just to I would say double what they put on the actual car. Some people buy cards at a lower price, and then they know what the trend is. They wait for them to go up, then they resell them, buy cheaper ones, and uh, so this helps also the Pokemon community not to get a scam, because they actually know what's a fair price if they're trading out there, and no one can, tell you otherwise because it's a price globally. So challenges face. Challenges face like well, there's one I already mentioned before. The learning the API with minimal documentation was tough. I'm not gonna lie, because very much you just open the API. You see what's the actual what's placed inside of the ID fields, name fields. Of course, some of them are self-explanatory, but there are some of them that they got weird naming, and you don't truly know until you go into the real like the real API and start reading one by one. And after that, you can kind of like understand and what's like the primary key in this main API. What's easier. What value you're gonna use to pull your data, what you're gonna use to verify your data, and make sure if the data is not there, how to tell your program not to show just an empty field, just don't show it at all. So it's kind of like it's big since it got a lot of data. Um, I didn't want to put all the data into the details of my cars because there was some data that was pointless. There wasn't much people is interested in. It's just like probably like the some version with numbers of the car, blah, blah, blah. But if someone will be looking for a more detailed car system, it could be created. For me, in my case, I just want to show the important data that it's out there. This was also another challenge, filtering only cards with valid and live pricing. Since there is multiple URLs in every card, this is from whole foil, this is from whole foil and then market. This is whole foil, reverse whole foil, which is two different websites even though they almost have the same name. Reverse whole foil, then market. You can see it's whole foil, normal. You can see they're all different, so there was a lot of different fields out there that they were just showing empty. So just taking care of all the multiple URLs and letting your program know don't display anything if it doesn't have any data, because then it's gonna confuse the user. And well, that was another challenge too, but at the end of the day, it just showing what I needed to show, and it's working fine. It's really easy for the user to use. This is the self-taught page with no tutorials. So, okay, successes and limitations. Well, one of the things that I'm more proud of is building a working interactive Pokemon card app, right? This was, at the end of the day, every time I see my app, I just like it a lot. I'm proud of what I achieved here, and if I was, to change something in this project, probably will be picking an easier API due to the length of this class, and how complicated this can get. However, I don't take any regrets because I really enjoy the process and I like the final result. So, and then, well, also it was really cool to engage with the Pokemon community effectively. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know, not just about the API, also about programming, which is something that really affected the way my program was looking. I was able to get actually ratings, from people. I will send screenshots, and they will say, you should change this. I don't think users will be okay with this. And then they'll be like, oh, you may integrate this, or you may do the hover function. It'll make your application more interactive. And then I kind of went through that, and then we just rated each other's applications. Large data sets. This is difficult because when it comes with the API, I have over 20,000 lines. This is used sometimes for one Pokemon, which is crazy. It's not used for the whole API. It's just for one Pokemon in general, because like let's say a Charizard card, there could be 200 Charizard cards, and every Charizard card got I don't know 100 lines. So it can get tricky. It can get tricky. It could have 100 lines or even more, depending on how much is being placed, how much data is being placed for a specific card. So the most popular cards are difficult to handle. However, since I wanted to make sure everything was good, I tested everything with Charizard, which is one of the favorite cards in the industry. So it's even like it loads faster when it comes to Pokemon that they are not as popular. Because you see, Pikachu, it's just a really popular Pokemon, and I don't think it took that long to load. But with other Pokemon, it'll be great. Difficult uploads to the GitHub due to the size. Yes, this was when I was extracting big amount of data. That's when I decided to extract more smaller. Because I was extracting like let's say Pokemons with fire type. There's many Pokemon with fire type. So I had to simplify that, right? And then do it to one specific Pokemon. Because then this will happen. I will have to upload like a text or something to keep up my data in GitHub, because that's what I wanted to do, and it will take days, and then it will fail. So this wasn't as great. API like through documentation. So I think I already explained this point before. So if I had to do a project do over, right? I will do probably like I mentioned before, better handling on duplicate card names. Like the Pikachu variants. There's too many Pikachu variants. And it was hard. It was hard to find them. If I wanted to do like a holo rare search just for that specific rarity of the card, there's still too many. It was a regular card, too many. So the having that much data inside, uh, it was just too much to handle, and it was hard when it came to do graphs, do extraction, uploading it to GitHub, so I could have like a version control and everything I was extracting. So it was hard, but at least it also made me learn a lot of things I didn't know, because I thought like some things could be done easier, but then I saw there was a big process, at least for uploading data that big into the repository, and I cannot learn my lesson, and then I have to go with smaller text files and things like that. Cloud hosting for accessibility. This is something that I wanted to do, right? Because I'm taking another AWS class, and I seen how much their pricing is, and I've been learning about S3 buckets, AC2, things like that. And I mean, at the end of the day, it would be pretty cool to host it on the cloud, so I can show it to all my friends, and so they don't have to use Expo, and then I have to host it on my computer only if they want to do a mobile app. Um, it doesn't have to be hosted at my house or my computer. It can be, just on the cloud, so everyone can use it anytime. Okay, that's something that I will do too. I will probably rebuild this app um, in React Native for mobile usability, because I mean, I find it really cool for it to be on the phone, because mainly you're not gonna use it on the computer if you're playing out there. Usually it's gonna be a social place where there's a lot of people, and you're not gonna be pulling your laptop and just looking for Pokemon cards for price and all that. It'll be really easy just to do it on your phone. And then I will be add more filters, add maybe um, I don't know, like a automatic battle system where you can just pick two cards, and there will be like stats probabilities where which card will beat the other card, and things like that. So you could test things beforehand before playing the game and see, okay, I don't think I should do this card because I already tested on the app before and I know it'll lose against the other card. So so before finishing this project, I wanna thank you all for being this great in this semester. I've seen a lot of ideas in all discussions. People that they did really good also in this project, and I want to thank our professor too, just for showing us around and explaining to us most of the concepts that we needed to apply to here, and then um, well, it's been a great semester so far, so I can't complain. It's been great. I enjoyed to do this project with a topic that I really liked, which was Pokemon. I didn't have to do it on a topic that was set on stone. And I know there is things that could have been better, but I'll work on it on the future. And I hope all this experience I'm getting, it can be applied on real projects, which is what I'm looking for. Thanks.